Okay, now so let's start. Let's start right away. Good afternoon or good evening or good day anywhere, any part of the world that you are watching this. Uh, my name is Elemo Sholushe. For most of you that don't know me before, and I've been in the financial markets industry for I think about 6 years or thereabouts, since 2015. And so um, where do we start? We have a lot of things to cover actually, and I'm still thinking if these 3 days is going to be enough for us to cover all the things that I have in mind to cover. And for day one, basically, I'm looking at just giving us a good background about the crypto market. So equipping you with the knowledge that you need to understand what the crypto market is. And then on day two, which is going to be tomorrow, we look at the trading platform, getting familiar with the broker platform, the Binance platform. And then on day three, we now look at how to invest and do the proper trading. And so there are lots of things to talk about, basically, and I won't lie to you. And you have to pardon my English, because when I have lots of things to really talk about, I don't really send the grammar and all that. I just decide to just pour out everything that is coming up in my head. So what I will just tell you also is this: that at any particular point in time that my internet or I get locked out, maybe because of internet issue or thereabout, I will try my best possible to quickly log in back. So you guys just need to hang around. You don't really have control over internet connection. You can't really predict what can happen, but I'll try my best possible to quickly get back as soon as possible. And so, just like I said before, the day one will be knowledge, which today is day one. And then day two will be getting familiarized with the broker platform. And then day three, you'll see how to invest in crypto market and how to trade if you want to go into trading. So can you guys confirm my audio there? Can you guys hear me? Let me just know before we really start. I can see Barry Luege already raising up his hand. I don't know if that hand raising is by mistake or thereabout. So if you have questions, we are still going to be having sections for us to look at questions. So if you have questions, you can note them down. Then when it is time, I will tell you some notes, and then we'll treat it. So can you confirm my audio there? Just type yes or type Y if you can hear me quite well. Just put Y there. Let me just see, because it won't make sense if I can just, if I'm just talking. Okay, I can see a lot of Y, so I can see a lot of yes. So if you are having challenges with your audio, it means that the problem is from you and not from me. Okay. So before we start, can I quickly ask a little question? How many of us have an idea of the crypto market before? Have you bought Bitcoin before? Do you understand what Bitcoin is? So if you have an idea, just type Y. Otherwise, just type no or N. So that I just have a good understanding of the profile of people that we have participating in this training. So I can see lots of yes, and I can also see some no. I can see Ezekiel saying no, Obiajulu saying no, Daniel Wachuku saying no. So I guess it's a mixed profile we have here. About half of the participants knows or have done something in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin before, but possibly some of you want to have knowledge of what the crypto market is. You want to have knowledge of how to trade and all that. So if you cannot hear, Sholo Ton Abayomi says you can't hear. So if you cannot hear, it means that the problem is from you and not from this side. Okay, so let's look at what we will treat. Let me just share the entire screen here. 1 minute, guys. Okay, so we are going to actually be there were periods in the time past. I have talked about cryptocurrency before, and we dealt with a lot of things back then. And these are some of the things I taught. And if we want to go through all these things that you can see right here, if we want to go through them one by one, it's going to take a lot of time. So my focus majorly right now is the account setup and exchange, and then technical analysis and application of crypto, profitable trading strategy, and money management, risk management strategy. But I'm also going to be talking about a good background of cryptocurrency, and I'll explain a little bit of the first of Bitcoin, and then I'll also, to some extent, let us understand what the future is as regards Bitcoin. And you understand what the blockchain is. Also, you understand what blockchain is and how it applies to the crypto market. Just give me 1 minute. There's this on background cycle. Yeah, just 1 minute. Yeah, all right, guys, I'm back. So I think we just start right away. So let's just start. Let's go. So we are going to start with the course objective, and here I'm going to explain what you would get to know in the course of this training. You will understand what cryptocurrency is and how to get started as a total beginner. So even if you don't have any knowledge at all about the crypto market, you've not traded forex or whatever before, this is assuming that you don't have any foreknowledge, and so you're going to start from the very beginning. You're going to learn how to read charts and combine trading indicators to spot profitable trades with high probability of success. You are going to understand what is and trading techniques related to trading market, how to spot, how to wait, and how to trade consolidation zones and breakout patterns, which whenever this occur, that is what usually leads to each profit in the market. You will know when to buy and when to sell cryptocurrency for a profit, and then you also learn the money management and risk management part of trading as it relates to whether you are going to be a day trader or a swing trader. Day trader are people that trade basically and close their position within a day, and swing traders are people that trade and hold their position for a week or weeks to come. And then you'll be able to know how to develop trading strategies. We're going to teach you right here how to develop a working trading strategy, but by yourself you can decide to, you can use that as a basic on how you want to develop your own, and make sure you backtest it to be sure that it can last, several market conditions. And finally, last but not the least, you'll be able to know how to set up your MT4 account, and why you need to have an MT4 account, and also a trading view chart for profitable trade setup. So these are the course objectives which you are going to know in the course of this whole training exercise. And right now, let's just get started with the very first thing on slide, which is Bitcoin, the beginning. That means we want to look at what really resulted to how Bitcoin came into being, and the reason why Bitcoin was created. And I'm not going to really be wasting too much time about talking what Bitcoin is and all that, which I'm going to assume a lot of you are already familiar with what Bitcoin is, but we'll still do some brief introduction and background of what Bitcoin is. Now, Bitcoin was created because of lack of trust in the entire financial system. A person, Satoshi Nakamoto, or a group of persons, because he or they went anonymous after proposing and submitting the creation of Bitcoin. And this was an extract from the proposition, and it reads: the root problem with conventional currency is all the trust that requires to make it work. The central bank must be trusted not to debase the currency, but the history of fiat currency is full of breaches of that trust. Banks must be trusted to hold our money and transfer it electronically, but they lend it out in waves of credit bubbles with barely a fraction in reserve. You have to trust them with our privacy, trust them not to let identity thieves drain our account. And then this proposition came immediately after the economic crisis of 2008, 2009. And if we just go to Google and just search for 2008 economic crisis, you'll be able to see the main reason behind the economic crisis of 28-29, which is lack of investor confidence in bank solvency and decline in credit availability led to plummeting stock and commodity in late 2008 and early 2009. The crisis rapidly spread into a global economic shock, resulting into several bank failures. So this was what actually made Satoshi Nakamoto, which is an anonymous person, nobody knows whether it's male or female or a group of person, proposed the creation of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin was actually created in 2009. And as you can see, the fundamental reason for the creation of Bitcoin was because of lack of trust in the entire financial system. And with this, it means that with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency, it means you really do not need any middleman to be in between for you to send money or receive money from someone. As far as we are going to go into details of the all features of Bitcoin so that you understand the process flow of Bitcoin and what the creator had in mind at the time it was being created. But then let us go into what Bitcoin is, and this will then give us an understanding of the features that we expect in Bitcoin. Now, this is the also an extract from the proposition of that was proposed by Satoshi Nakamoto in his book, and this is the book right here, bitcoin.org. If you go to your website and just search for bitcoin.org/bitcoin.pdf, it's going to open the page, and you'll be able to, let's just even quickly go there. It's going to open the page, and you'll be able to see a whole lot of things that was discussed and proposed by Satoshi Nakamoto. And we are still going to come back to this book, but we have a mathematical calculation here, which is what is based on where most of all the calculations that are being solved by computers out there, and anyone that is able to solve those calculations are rewarded with Bitcoin. So this is the book, you can go through it, but the same currency I have right here to someone, and then also still copy that same transaction and go and spend it elsewhere, since it's a digital transaction. So he then said that we propose a solution to the double spending problem using a peer-to-peer network. Now, this is ensured by the network timestamping the transaction. So he said the network timestamp transaction by hashing them into an ongoing chain of hash-based proof of work, forming a record that cannot be changed without redoing the proof of work. So these are all the things that we are going to be looking at together one by one in the course of this training. You are going to understand what a peer-to-peer network is. You are going to understand what the timestamp transaction is. You are going to understand what blockchain majorly. All this explanation that that you have right here is what we actually call the blockchain, which is a chain of hash based on proof of work. And then without all these things being in place, we are most likely going to be having a situation where people are going to be double spending, and the essence of having a Bitcoin is going to be nullified, so to say. So let us look at some of the features of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is nothing more than a mobile app or a computer program that you already have. I'm sure most of you have a smartphone, you have a laptop, you have a system, desktop, and all that. So Bitcoin is just very close to what you can call a mobile app or a computer program that provides a personal Bitcoin wallet and enables a user send and receive Bitcoin. And you're going to see what the process flow is like when you send and receive Bitcoin, and how Bitcoin are being generated. So Bitcoin is a consensus network that enables a new payment system and a completely digital money. It is the first decentralized peer-to-peer payment network that is powered by its users with no central authority or middleman. And as a matter of fact, this is really why you realize that there are still lots of controversies or lot of legislative or regulative issues with Bitcoin, because the primary reason why Bitcoin was created was really not for we to have a central authority like governments and all that. But right now, government is looking for ways at which to come in and regulate the cryptocurrency markets, so as to prevent, terrorism funding and money laundering and a whole lot of other issues that relates to, things that can affect the authenticity of money, so to say. And then from a user perspective, Bitcoin is pretty much like cash for the internet, or you just simply say internet of money. So if there is no internet, it's most likely going to be that there won't be Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is in existence just because we have the internet. So as far as you are spending time on the internet, you are doing some transactions and all that, you can make payments with Bitcoin, you can make payments with cryptocurrency, Ethereum and all that, without necessarily you taking cash from your bank account and then spending and all that. So this is what Bitcoin enables us to be able to perform while making doing any transaction online. So let us go to the next feature of Bitcoin, which is blockchain. Now, a lot of you guys may have been hearing about blockchain, and you get confused and you really don't know what blockchain is. Now, it's not something that is very complex. It's, as a matter of fact, it's even very easy. And from now on, I'm sure you'll be able to have a good understanding of what blockchain is. Now, the blockchain stuff is the technology behind cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin actually manifested from. And so we are going to be looking at what blockchain is and the features of blockchain itself and how or why it's very important for cryptocurrency or Bitcoin to function. Now, a blockchain is a type of diary or spreadsheet containing information about transactions. So we can relate this to just something like a ledger where you record transactions that have happened on daily basis, or at not just daily basis, at every particular point in time. Now, you remember that one of the one of the reasons why Bitcoin may not function well is double spending, and we need to be able to prevent that double spending from happening. Otherwise, we won't have Bitcoin. And so, blockchain is what ensures that there is no double spending in the entire network, as far as every transaction is being recorded and there is timestamp on those transactions, and they are being linked together from the first transaction to the next transaction to the next transaction, on and on like that, and made available to the public for everybody to be able to see. Then that is just a very simple illustration of what blockchain is. So each transaction generates a hash, and a hash is just like the combination of string numbers and letters. So a hash is a string of numbers and letters. So I can say that if I want to write A, I want A to be written as 475, for instance. I can say A, whenever I see A, I want it to be 475. Whenever I see C, I want it to be 0, 1, 2, etc. Whenever I see 1, I want it to be maybe PQR or something. So yeah, so let me just see if I can quickly make a live example of how blockchain operates for us to quickly understand. How many of us are here? I think we are about 45. Okay, so let's assume that for the 5 of us right now, we want to share money. Let's just take it that we want to share money, and then we have assigned someone as class captain. Let me just use that instance. Maybe let me look at the profile of people we have here. Okay, I can see Gibbs here. So let's say, for instance, I have asked that Gibbs should be our class captain for this purpose that we are having right here, that it should be our class captain. And then we want to share, let's say we want to share 100,000. Let me just use that very simple round figure. So Gibbs gave the first person, which is me, he gave me 5,000. Let's say he gave me 5,000. And then the next person, I'm going to put me here. I'm going to just put this me here. And then the next person, which is, let's say the person is Ayo, he gave him 1,000. The next person, let's say Sarah, he gave her 1,000. And then the next person, let's say it is Deborah, he gave that person 10,000, and on like that. Now, he didn't finish sharing the money, and then after some time, he felt that, okay, he wants to go and ease himself. So immediately he went out to go and ease himself. let's say that one person who is a very bad person among us, who can I use as that bad person? Yeah, I don't have any bad person here, but okay, I'm going to use Longe. Let's say I want to use Longe as a bad person. So Longe right now wants to he wants to at least have more share. Okay, let's say he gave Longe before he left. He gave Longe one. He gave Longe 15,000. Now, when he did this, he was only writing that information that he has shared this. He has shared this to people. He's only writing it on his own notes. He's only writing it on his own notes, and nobody else have that privilege to see what's there. And then when he went to eat himself or thereabouts, Longe then went to his book, went to that his book. I don't know if you can see. Okay, you can see the screen and what I'm drawing on the screen. Please confirm if you can see what I'm drawing on the screen. Okay. So he now went into the captain's book, and so he went to where Longe was written as 15,000, and then changed that 15,000 to just 1,000, so that he can make a claim that he didn't pay him 15,000. What you pay me is 1,000 naira. And so after the class captain came, he continued the sharing of money. He went again and then maybe reshared again. Let me even just reshared. He reshared another 2K, another 1K, another 2K, another 5K. And then when he got to Longe, he gave him 5K. Then he's having running stomach. He went to the toilet again. Now, Longe came, okay, before he went to the toilet, he observed that somebody had come to his paper and has changed something on that paper, but was not able to really figure out what that person changed. So now what he then decided is that, okay, I want it to be that anytime I am going to share money now, I am not going to write it in the form at which people understand. Because it is because they understand what I've written down. That's why they are able to change what I have written down. So instead of him writing this to that, okay, I shared I shared 2K to me, one to AY, this one to this one. He decided to turn this 2K to alphanumeric test, non-intelligible test. So what he's saying here is that instead of writing 2,000, he decided to write something like AK 4, 2, 1. He's the only one that understands what this AK421 represent. For this one, he decided to write 2, 1, 2. Let me put K here, let me put C here, and then A here. He understands what he has doing. So he changed the numbers into alphanumeric text. Meanwhile, this 2 that you can see here all contains this AK421 that he has written. This 2 right here that you can see contains the AK421. Then this 1 represents this. So when he now wanted to say, okay, he now shared 2K to Sarah. This 01, it is represented right here, and then this right here. So you can decide you want to put 4 instead of putting 3. You want to put 4 for the next one, and then put something like AZW. Meanwhile, this 4 that he has put here contains all the information of this 2K and 1K. So now, what then happened is that when he went to eat himself in the toilet, Longe, being a very smart guy, was still also able to decode what this translate. He was able to translate and decode what he's saying. So he was able to still change. By the time the algorithm got here, he was able to still change this 5K away to something like 500 naira. You understand? So what then happened is that when this captain now wants it to be very, very difficult for anybody to be able to understand what he's saying, and to be able to change for anybody to be able to change any information that we have right there. So what he then decided is this. He now decided that, okay, I'm going to continue. I'm going to change this code, but I'm going to replicate this code on the paper of everybody in our room right here in this training. So everybody has a copy. That means when he wrote the code, the 5th code right here, he He wrote the code and then wrote it down with me. He wrote the code and wrote it down with Ayo. He wrote the code and wrote it down with Sarah. He wrote the code on with Debbie. He wrote the code even on that Lunge. So what then happened is this: if the captain decides to go to the toilet and say, "Okay, I want to ease myself," if Lunge by himself want to change anything, he needs to go and change that of the captain. He needs to change the one of itself, and then he needs to change every other information on the books of everybody, on everybody. That means for it to be possible, everybody will have to agree that Lunge should come and change the information on their paper. And you can tell that it's not going to be possible because it means that it's going to be cheating the system. How will you be receiving 15,000 and you want to change it that you only receive 1,000? People will not allow that. And that is how I'm just trying to give you a very simple understanding of what the blockchain technology is. The blockchain technology involves transactions at every particular point in time. Now, those transactions are linked from the first one to the second one to the third one to the fourth one, which is why we call it chain. It's a chain. So if you cannot alter the information of the current one without going back to the initial one. And then when you go back to the initial one, you need to go back again to it. So you need to go round on every computer that are connected all over the world together to change them, to change it. And if there's one single change in that hash, transaction hash, it means that a new hash have to be created, and which makes it quite impossible. And that's why you used to hear that the technology behind Bitcoin is very strong. It's very strong in the sense that you need to be able to attack all the systems that are connected all over the world and change the information there before you can kind of bring out a Bitcoin that was not created from the entire network space. I don't know if you have any question before I continue. If you understand that, you understand this illustration I just gave you. I just decided to use this as an example where we are right now so that you understand the concept of blockchain. Blockchain means that we have blocks of transactions that have been recorded. They have recorded from the first transaction to the second transaction to the third transaction, on and on like that. The last one is linked to the second to the last is linked to the third to the last, on and on from the very beginning of the first. And then for someone to then say you want to change you want to change anything in the system, you need to be able to change every information on every system that are connected from, which is why you see that they used to say the technology behind Bitcoin or crypto is very strong, and why it is also the reason why government is finding it very difficult to just break in. So you understand the cost of the trading, that the government is still going to be able to come in. I foresee that. And then they'll be able to remove that anonymous nature of sending money. And they are going to try to, how do I explain it? They are going to try to create a national currency that is still built on this same blockchain technology, but there is no this anonymous nature. They need to be able to know who is sending what to anywhere, so that they can use that to counter anti-terrorism, counter-terrorism funding, and anti-money laundering, and a lot of fraudulent things that are happening out there. So we can proceed, I believe. Okay, let's just go. So it's just a combination of both numbers and letters that appear each time a transaction occurs. And you're going to be able to understand the flow of those transactions in the course of this training. So transactions are entered in the order which they occur, and that order is actually very, very important. Remember that what we want to prevent right here is the possibility of double spending. So we need to be able to capture the first transaction that has occurred and then the next one, and apply a timestamp on them in the order at which they occur. If this is not possible, then it means that people can quickly copy their transaction ID or thereabout, and quickly paste and use it to make another purchase elsewhere. You can spend your Bitcoin twice or three times almost at the same time. But because of the blockchain technology, it prevents this from happening, because when you make a transaction, it will first go into the blockchain platform, and then they will be able to verify the authenticity of that transaction, if it has ever occurred before, and if it's something that's occurred before, it should not go through. If it is just occurring for the very first time, then it will be registered and timestamped. That's just a very simple understanding of what the blockchain technology does. So the hash depends not only on the transaction that you're performing right now, but the previous transactions hash. So what we are saying in essence is that, let's say for instance, okay, let's quickly go to um, blockchain website and see what's usually happen each and every particular point when a transaction is made, and you'll be able to see that transactions are being made almost every second, and then they are also being verified almost every second. Let's quickly go to the blockchain website. Yeah, just try to. Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys. I was logged out. Let me just do something. Yeah, sorry, guys. I was logged out. Let me just try to make sure everything is back to order. Um, okay. 1 minute. So someone I could read the comment of someone. It said it doesn't understand what double spending is. Double spending. I think okay, let me just quickly give you a good example of what double spending is. If we don't have Bitcoin, let's not even talk about Bitcoin. Let's just say, okay, can you guys hear me? Let me first confirm if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me because I'm just getting back right now. Uh, Send a chat if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, so on the normal currency that you have, the normal currency you have in your wallet, it used to have number. It used to have number. That's just like a tracking number. So let's say you went to a shop to buy what example can I use? You went to a shop to buy a book. Let me just use a book. You went to a shop to buy a book, and then you were given that book. Then you gave cash to the person. Maybe you gave that person 1,000 naira for that book. And then all of a sudden, the person, just got himself, forgot that 1,000 naira right there on a table. You took that 1,000 naira back, and then you went to another shop to buy another book for that same 1,000 naira. So you have double spended that 1,000 naira. That's what it means. That's just a simple way to look at it. So it's just like when you use the same currency to purchase two different things almost at the same time. Now in Bitcoin we are talking about a situation where you are going to copy out, you are going to try to copy the wallet address of two different merchants or two people that you want to send money to. And then you click on send at the same time. You click on send at the same time. So in order to prevent the possibility of that happening, where you're going to click on send at the same time, and then it appears to be processed on two different merchant websites at the same time. In order to prevent that, if that is not prevented, it's going to that is going to be one reason the government is going to kick against it. That people are using Bitcoin for double spending, and it is not money. So in order to prevent that part, that's why it ensures that there's a timestamp. It ensures that there is timestamp on that cryptocurrency, on that hash, transaction hash ID. So the first one that goes to the network has a timestamp. So once that timestamp has passed through the normal protocol and is recognized, the other one that you are sending is not going to go through because it recognizes that it has already passed through the network. I hope you understand that part right now, sir. Okay, so can we continue now? Let me just share my screen and then we'll continue from where I stopped. 0, 1, 2, etc. Whenever I see one, I want it to be maybe PQ, PQR or something. So it's just a combination of both numbers and letters that appear each time a transaction occurs. And you're going to be able to understand the flow of those transactions in the course of this training. So transactions are entered in the order which they occur, and that order is actually very, very important. Remember that what we want to prevent right here is the possibility of double spending. So we need to be able to capture the first transaction that has occurred and then the next one, and apply a timestamp on them in the order at which they occur. If this is not possible, then it means that people can quickly copy their transaction ID or thereabout and quickly paste and use it to make another purchase elsewhere. You can spend your Bitcoin twice or three times almost at the same time. But because of the blockchain technology, it prevents this from happening, because when you make a transaction, it will first go into the blockchain platform, and then they will be able to verify the authenticity of that transaction if it has ever occurred before, and if it's something that's occurred before, it should not go through. If it is just occurring for the very first time, then it will be registered and timestamped. That's just a very simple understanding of what the blockchain technology does. So the hash depends not only on the transaction that you are performing right now, but the previous transaction's hash. So what we are saying in essence is that, let's say for instance, okay, let's quickly go to blockchain website and see what's usually happen each and every particular point when a transaction is made, and you'll be able to see that transactions are being made almost every second, and then they are also being verified almost every second. Let's quickly go to the blockchain website. So right here, you just go to blockchain.info, and then you press enter, and right here you click on Explorer. So right here, you'll be able to see latest transactions, and you can see that we have this place which is called a hash, and these are the hash that are being generated for every transaction that is happening all over the world as it relates to Bitcoin and all that. And then you have the timestamp right here. The timestamp may look as if it's just hour and minute, but it has seconds and even nanoseconds right within it. And then you have the amount of Bitcoin that is being sent or received at that particular point in time, and then you have the amount in USD. So if you click on, let's just click on the first one for instance. If you click on this, you'll be able to have much detailed information about that transaction. You'll be able to see the fee that was being charged on that transaction, and this is just the transaction ID, hash ID I was talking about the other time. You'll be able to see that it's the combination of numbers and alphabets, and this number and alphabets is not just for this transaction alone, it's for the transactions that have happened even before now. So it's a chain of transaction. That's why it is called blockchain. That means it recognizes transactions that have happened before, and also the transaction that is currently happening right now, and it records them in blocks, and those blocks are linked together. That means the first block is linked to the second block, the second block is linked to the third block, and etc. That's why it is called blockchain. It means just like when you have a chain, and you know, most of all these chains are usually intertwined. They are usually crossed to each other. So you cannot get information from one without going back to the information of the other transaction. And then the beauty of this, or what makes the blockchain to be very, very strong, is that it is being recorded in a public ledger on every computer that is connected to it, which makes it very, very difficult for anybody to just come and manipulate. That means that if you want to change anything on the blockchain ledger, you need to be able to change all the records on all the different systems that are connected at that particular point in time, which makes it very, very impossible. And that's why you see that the technology that backs up the creation of Bitcoin is very strong, because you cannot by yourself be able to change all the information on all the different systems that are in diverse places all over the world. And if I go back to the first page right here, you will see that we have latest blocks. And these latest blocks, you'll be able to see how many minutes it takes the system, for instance, how many minutes it takes that system to be able to mine Bitcoin. And when we say mine, we are not really mining like gold and all that. Mining part of the Bitcoin has to do with confirmation. When a transaction comes is being generated, a system among all the computers that are connected to one another, a system or a computer needs to confirm that transaction. It needs to confirm the transaction that it has not happened before, and that this transaction is a new one, and then add it to existing transaction records. So any system that is able to make that confirmation is usually rewarded with Bitcoin. And then you'll be able to see the name of that miner, which is the computer that have performed that confirmation, and then you'll be able to see the size right here. You can click on view all blocks to be able to see and have access to all these informations. So that is why it's transparent in nature. Anybody can go online and verify the information, but you cannot change any information right there. If you change the information on one system, it's not going to be accepted by every other. You need to actually be able to change the information on all the other systems for it to pass through. Otherwise, it is not going to fly, which is why you see that they used to say that the technology that backs up Bitcoin is very, very strong. And that technology is just simply blockchain. And blockchain is just what you have understand right now. Is a chain of transactions that are recorded as blocks, and then they are linked from the previous transaction to the current transaction and recorded in a public ledger where people can actually verify and see it, and then they are available on all the systems that are connected from one system to another. And if you want to change one's information, you need to be able to change all the information on all the systems that are connected to another, and they are available in different places all over the world, which makes it quite very difficult, if almost impossible, for anybody to be able to do that. So let's just continue with the features of blocking. I've already explained most of all the things I'll be talking about right here when I went to the website. So even a small change in transaction creates a completely new hash. So if you want to change anything, a new hash is going to be generated, and then every other system that are connected needs to be able to confirm that and record that new hash before it will pass through. And in this process, the nodes need to check to make sure a transaction has not been changed by inspecting the hash. So when a new hash is created, a system needs to confirm that nothing has been changed and that this is actually a completely new hash. Remember that the major thing right here is to prevent double spending. And so each transaction needs to have a new different hash which has not been existing before, or which has not been changed at any particular point before. So if a transaction is approved by a majority of the nodes, then it is written into a block. Now, each block refers to the previous block and together make the blockchain. So that's just the simple definition that you need to take away from here. We have a block, and those blocks actually refers to previous blocks, and those previous blocks are also linked to those previous blocks and all that, and they form a chain. And I'll also let you understand that whenever a transaction happens, we need to generate a new hash, and then the system that does that confirmation to show that this is actually a new hash and that this transaction has not happened before and that this transaction actually did take place is rewarded with a small piece, just like saying, okay, I reward you for able to confirm this transaction. And so that is what we call the mining part of Bitcoin. So they are rewarded with a fraction of Bitcoin. So a blockchain is effective as it's spread over many computers, each of which have a copy of the blockchain. So in the essence, if you want to change anything, you need to change it across all the different systems all over the world. And I don't know, except you are a witch or thereabouts, I don't know how that is going to be possible. Now, these computers are called nodes, and the blockchain updates itself every 10 minutes. So it means that if you are right there on the system, you'll be able to see transactions are actually being generated every particular seconds, every particular minute and all that. But then on the blockchain website itself, the website actually updates itself every 10 minutes. Now, in summary, blockchain is a digital ledger that publicly records all transactions in a sequential, secure, permanent, and ever-expanding chain of cryptography, hash-linked blocks. Now, you can see that we have actually mentioned something right here, which is cryptography, and that's what we are going to be looking at right now. And then it is what leads to what we eventually call cryptocurrency. So let's go to the next one, which is cryptocurrency. I don't know if you have any questions so far. I can address them now before we go to the next one. If you have any questions so far, just raise your hand, and then we'll address it. I can see someone was raising up his hand before, but he has lowered his hand. So any questions so far, guys? Now, there's something I didn't tell you guys from the beginning. You know, when I wanted to do this training, some people were saying, why will I do this kind of training for free, you know, and all that and all that. Now, the truth of the matter is, when you see people who want to train you on cryptocurrency, they usually want to charge you money. And some of them don't even know most of what the things they're going to be talking about. And then they are not going to be teaching you in depth. And so, you know, people were like, you want to spoil market for some people that are going to charge, you know, they usually charge minimum of $100. That's about 50,000. So for instance, if I decide to charge maybe $100 for just 10 people or thereabouts, that's about maybe 500,000 or thereabouts. So that's how, you know, some make one. But in my own case, I just feel that, okay, I'm doing it for two things, basically. The first reason being that I'm just kind of person that I like, you know, sharing my ideas basically with people. And then I created a group on cryptocurrency, and very few people are there. And then majority of them are not really trading. And some of them don't really, they want to trade those signals, but they don't understand how to go about them. So I just feel, then I also have friends that have come to me at one time or the other to explain or teach them about cryptocurrency. So instead of me just, you know, teaching those few set of people, I decided to just, you know, make it general. Let me just use that same energy. It doesn't really cost me much more than that. Use that same energy and make it general. Then on the second part is that today is my birthday, and then I just feel like, okay, how can I at least, you know, just do something remarkable for me to remember one of my birthdays. So I decided, okay, I'm going to be training free for 3 days on cryptocurrency to as many people that are interested. So that, you know, it's just a very simple way, just an easy way of me extending, impacting the world around me, and letting people at least be able to have some understanding instead of going to pay that kind of huge amount of money somewhere else, that in which case they may not even gain that kind of value. So instead of me doing that, let me just, you know, let me just make it available for free on my birthday. So at least if they ask me in the future one day that, okay, what have you done at any particular point in your life, in which case you were able to impact the world, I can say, okay, on this particular period, I decide Let me just train people for free and all that. So the fact that you're getting this free is a privilege, and the reason why people usually charge for those kind of trainings for your brain to be open. If you don't commit yourself, you don't have any commitment for the training, people are usually very relaxed, like Akilon Sogon. You understand? Some people are just here to just come and hear what's happening out there, or just participate, and you understand. But if there's a commitment, the brain will be open and the seriousness will be there. So I just want you, to take it more seriously, so that you understand that okay, this is more like a privilege. It's supposed to have been charged, but then I just feel let me just make it generally free for everyone. So if you have questions, oh yeah, you guys, I can see a lot of you guys are saying happy birthday. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate. Oh, some people are even saying private chatting me to send my wallet address. Well, if you want to still appreciate me by sending money, no problem. But I just decided to just make it something quite free for everyone. So if you have any questions, you can jot down your questions, and I would once in a while unmute you so that you can ask your question directly. And we are going to start with the features of cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. Now, as you can see, that we also mentioned that cryptography right here, and so we are going to be going into detail of what cryptography is. Now, cryptography is associated with the process of converting ordinary plain text into unintelligible text and vice versa. It is the method of storing and transmitting data in a particular form so that only those for whom it is intended can read and process. So what we're saying here in essence is that if it doesn't concern you, it doesn't concern you. And when you have transactions happening, those transactions can actually be understood by humans as they happen. But we want it to be in such a way that people do not understand what the process is at the background. Because if they do, then they will be able to manipulate the whole entire transaction flow. And so what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be converting text into unintelligible text and vice versa. That means we are going to be recoding those transactions into a form that is only being understood by computers. And if we go to, let's quickly go back to the PDF. Once in a while, I'm going to the PDF proposal of Bitcoin and back. So let's quickly go there and see and be able to get something out. Okay, now, so this is the blockchain.com. I've already explained what is happening right here. You can see that we are usually getting hash transactions every particular point in time. Now, these hash transactions are not something that is usually being understood easily by human, and they are meant to be verified by computers. And if we go to the submission of Satoshi Nakamoto, and I don't want to confuse us quite much with most of all the technical stuff that we have right here, but you'll be able to see, okay, this was what I was trying to explain to you before, that he explained how you are going to be having previous hash and then the root hash, which is going to be linked to the previous hash to generate a new hash for the transaction, and that's what you just explained right here. But that's not what I'm looking for right now. Okay, yeah, to the calculation. So in the calculation, you can see right here that we have P to be equals to the probability of an honest node finds the next block. That means there's a system or a computer system that is able to find the next block to be able to confirm a new transaction, so to say, simplified one. And then Q, which is the probability that the attacker, that means we have somebody that actually want to attack the block, or the attacker will ever catch up from Z blocks behind. So it looks at the probability of a sincere system doing the right thing, and then another system and another probability of another system doing the wrong thing, that we're trying to attack and record a new blockchain, a new Bitcoin or thereabout. Now, what this is what I just want to explain. I don't want us to go into the technicality, but you can see that the mathematical equation that we have right here is not something that is going to be easy for just an human or someone to perform just like that. It is mainly meant for computers to be able to have a verification of those transactions that have taken place and then being recorded on the public ledger. And conclusively, I'd say that we have proposed a system for the electronic transaction without relying on trust, which is the trust of intermediary by the banks or the central authority controlling the money for monetary policy and thereabout. So we started with the usual framework of coins made from digital signatures, which provide strong control of ownership, but is incomplete without a way to prevent double spending. And he was able to show that double spending can be prevented, and also it will be very difficult to attack the system. If you go through all these things right here, you'll be able to understand the proposition that was being submitted by Satoshi Nakamoto way back in 2009. And so what I'm just trying to say here in essence is that we are not really interested, we are not supposed to be interested in trying to perform those unintelligible tests by ourselves. They are meant for computers to be solved, and then anyone that is able to solve or verify those transactions and record them in blocks and make them available in the ledger are being rewarded with a fraction of Bitcoin, which is what we call mining. So cryptography not only protects data from theft or alteration, but can also be used for user authentication. And as a matter of fact, banks also use cryptography. So it uses encryption to secure transactions and control the creation of new currency unit. And cryptocurrency is being used in many applications. So it's not just peculiar to just Bitcoin. A cryptocurrency has been in existence way long back, even before Bitcoin sprang forth. So it has been used and is being currently used by banks for the transaction cards, which you have all these your ATM cards and all that. By the time you slot them into the ATM, you will just take your ATM card and look at the chip. It doesn't really translate to anything. You won't be able to understand what's there. That's just a very simple example of cryptography. But when you slot the ATM card into into the ATM machine, you'll be able to see that it will bring out a whole lot of information that relates to you, and you'll be able to perform transactions that only the computers will be able to do such things, and humans are not going to really be able to do them by themselves. So the cryptography usually, consists of the cards, the password that you use once in a while, and whenever you want to enter a password, you know your own password. Let's say you just enter password for your email, like you just put password there. Now that password that you put, let me just not use password. Let me use digital. Let's say your password is digital. When you put in the digital, it's going to change that digital that you have typed into something else, so that at the back end it is not going to be easily read by somebody trying to just hack into your system. And so that is why you see that whenever you want to put in your password these days, they will tell you to use something like a special character, make it a capital letter and all that, because the process of those ones being converted into cryptography makes it very difficult for someone else to be able to decode what that password is. So Bitcoin is used based on cryptography, and it is decentralized and regarded more often as Internet of Money, or we call it the future of money. So it's not just Internet of Money, because currently right now cryptocurrency or Bitcoin has taken shape of how we make transactions, how we pay for transactions online. But people are also now saying that the cash that we currently have right now are also going to be replaced by cryptocurrency. And that will only come into play when the government is able to legislate or regulate the cryptocurrency space. Now, the new set of cryptocurrency that are being made available right now, especially Ethereum, have this they have these smart contract parts of them in such a way that they make it very easy for a third-party software to be able to shake hands, which is what government is looking at right now, as a possibility of working with cryptocurrency that have smart contracts that can shake hands with third-party software, where government will be able to kind of regulate to some extent most transactions that are being carried out on cryptocurrency. But we don't know how far or how easy that is going to be, but that is just looking at what cryptocurrency is in the near future to come. So let's continue with the features of cryptocurrency, and the next one is proof of work. Now, most cryptocurrency use a proof of work system. And what is proof of work? You can see that in the proposition submitted by Satoshi Nakamoto, he mentioned a proof of work system there. And I don't want us to go back into it again, going back and forth. If you have your time, if you have time, you can just go through that. Page, that submission, and you understand the process flow or the thought process of Satoshi Nakamoto when he was making provisions for the creation of Bitcoin. So a proof of work scheme uses a hard to compute. That means it is going to be very, very hard for you to be able to compute to calculate that thing, but it's going to be very easy to verify computationally. That means a computer will find it not that very easy, but a computer will be able to find it quite easy to verify, but not that very easy to compute. So any computer, just like I said, any computer that is able to then make that verification is going to be recorded. It's going to be rewarded with a fraction of Bitcoin, which is what we call the mining part of Bitcoin. So proof of work is a term for the rules dictating who gets to update transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain. So on that website that we went to, the blockchain.info, you could see that transactions just keep on coming in, and at the left hand side you were able to see the proof of work part of it, which shows which computer was able to perform the mining part or the verification part of those transactions. And so that is what just proof of work means. It basically means that in order to gain the right to update the next block on the transaction as you have it on that blockchain website, you need to provide a proof to a challenge that is hard to solve yet very easily verifiable by the network. That means that you need to be able to show that you have been able to get the result. Just like, let me just break it down for you to understand. Let's say, for instance, we are 100 in this training right now, and then I have brought out a mathematical calculation for us to solve. So I had said that p raised to power maybe 3 plus q raised to power x is equals to 125, for instance. And I say, who can tell me the value of x? You understand? I even put a summation there, summation I to 1 to, don't let me use infinity, let me just use 50, 1 to 50. That, okay, who is able to solve this mathematics? And then in this our room right now, somebody was able to, press some things on the phone and blah, 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 or he was able to put in this, equation using a software or using the computer or the phone that the person has in front of right there, and was able to get a result. And let's say that the result of that x was maybe 2. So we are now saying that, okay, for you to be the fastest and the first person to get the results of this equation, I am going to reward you I'm going to reward you a fraction of Bitcoin. I'm going to give you money, and that money is Bitcoin. That's just the whole essence of Bitcoin mining. But you need to be able to show me that you have actually performed that that equation. That means you didn't do a guesswork. You actually performed this equation, and then it showed me the phone and what's the calculation, what the process flow that the computer went through in order to get that result. And then somebody else again, even right there in this training, somebody else again was able to also get the same thing, was able to get to, but the person was the second person to get it. And then another person again was able to also get to, which let us understand that, okay, and let us know that the result to this equation is actually 2. And so they get rewarded for being able to confirm those transactions. That's just the whole. So you are supposed to be able to prove to us that you have worked it. That's the essence or the simple definition of proof of work. You need to prove to us that you have actually worked that equation. And then when you finish and you get the results, you'll be rewarded with a fraction of a Bitcoin, which is what we call the mining part of cryptocurrency, so to say. So hence, providing proof that you have done work in solving it. And that's just the simple way to understand what proof of work scheme is. Now, let us look at how cryptocurrency works. So let's try to understand, because most of all the things we'll be talking about all the while are looking quite technical, and we have not really been able to see the practical part of it in front of us. So let us look at how cryptocurrency works, and we are also going to go into dramatic method or way to see how it actually works in real life. So just try to imagine how your email works. The email that you used to send to your friends and all that, just imagine that is what you currently have in front of you, and you want to send email to someone. Now, so let us attach money to that email. That means when you are sending that email, immediately you are sending in the email and the person receives the email, the person will also get some value, a kind of a coin, which is what we are currently looking at right now. But in this case, we are not focusing on that coin right now. We are focusing on the process that you already know, which is sending of email. Now, you know that this email, you usually have your email address and the email address of the person you want to send to. And that's just the process flow of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. You need to have your own wallet address, which is where what you would log in with if you are on blockchain or Bitcoin website. And then you need to have the wallet address of the person you want to send to. They are usually 16 characters or 21 characters in length. And so once you have the email address of the person you want to send to, you can send an email. So it also means that if you have the wallet address of the person you want to send to, you can send money to that person. That's just what it means. So the process at which this email were created could be termed a public ledger. There's nothing really hidden about this email. That means that when you want to open your email, you can easily open your email anywhere. You can open Yahoo email, you can open whatever. You can send your emails to some people. It can be obtained online by some people. There's nothing really hidden about it. That's just what we are talking about right here. And then upon sending this mail, let us assume that there are several processes or transactions algorithm happening at the background, which you as a sender do not even know about. The sender do not know, even the receiver doesn't really know. And as a matter of fact, when you are trying to send a mail, the most thing you focus on is the mail, the composition of the email you want to do. Once you finish typing the email, all you need to do is just click on send, and then vim, you realize the stuff has been sent. But what happened in between when you click on send and when the person received it, you do not know. And that is the process flow that has been explained to us back then in the previous slide. We talked about the blockchain, we talked about cryptography, and we also talk about the proof of work. Those are the things that happen in the background which we do not know. So, however, in this case, the receiver gets something in return, the coin, which is why I said that when we are sending the mail, we are also going to be attaching, let's say we are attaching something to it that, okay, I want to send a mail to my wife, and I'm saying, hey dear, I'm sending you this email, and immediately you finish reading this email, you are going to be rewarded with maybe 1 Ethereum. And so the person will be wondering, what is 1 Ethereum? But I then let the person know that if you just log into this certain website, you'll be able to see the Ethereum there. You can sell it to anybody and it will appear as money in your bank account. We are still going to get that. You understand quite better. So this process does not involve going through banking system. You do not need to have any rigorous documentation. So in the traditional way at which you know how to send money or receive money, before you be able to send money, they will collect your name, they will collect your this, they will collect your that, you submit your KYC, you do this, you do that. But right now, with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, you don't really need to go through all this rigorous documentation. As far as you have money that you can change into crypto, you can send that same crypto to anybody else anywhere in the whole world. Now, in sending this email, you decide to go anonymous, such that the friend of your friend will not know that you are the one sending this mail, nor will you pay any exorbitant fees or commissions for effecting this action. So what we are saying here in essence is that we are trying to draw the process of sending an email very close to the process of making a cryptocurrency transaction. Most of the time, when someone sends you money to your cryptocurrency wallet, if another person comes to your wallet and click on the hash transaction ID and thereabout, you will not be able to know who exactly sent this money into this account. And that's where we are having problem with the legislatures. They want to be able to verify who sent what and maybe for what purpose or thereabout. But that is not the main reason why cryptocurrency or Bitcoin was created. It was created in such a way that people can go anonymous and then send or receive money to themselves. But then, everything that has advantages also has disadvantages. In this case, the central authorities are not being able to come in, and then it can result into terrorism funding and also money laundering, which is a very key factor for any serious governments to consider. We are still going to look at if this is going to be possible for government to come in later on. So the example above between email and cryptocurrency does not extend to the way in which this transaction is processed. Yes, we know, but they are very close. Email travels through centralized servers in order to reach their recipients, whereas cryptocurrency travels from one pair through the network, that's those computers that are connected to one another, and then to the person. So when you're sending an email, if you are using Yahoo, for instance, you first go to the Yahoo server and reside there, and then from the Yahoo server, it appears to the person you want to send it to. But if you are sending cryptocurrency, it does not go to a server. It goes through a network of computers that are connected one to another, and then it is then being seen by the person that you are sending it to. Now, each end of this transaction is secured using more cryptography, with the sender and receiver each holding a private key unique to their wallet. And when we say a private key, maybe when we open a wallet ID, you'll be able to know what the private key is. So that private key is just like a signature, just like a stamp. Just like a stamp, in which case, just like when you are issuing a check and then you are signing on it, that okay, you actually issued that check. So only you have access to that private key, and that's what you'll be using to make transactions, and that's what you also be using to access your wallet ID or profile. So let's look at a graphical summary of most of all these things that we have talked about right now. So this is the beginning, and this is you right here. So let's say this is me, and then my name is LM Show, and then I open a wallet address. I open a Bitcoin wallet with my phone. It's something that can easily be done with my phone. We're going to open a wallet very soon, and so I open a wallet right there, and then what I want to do is to send money to my wife. and then I guess the my wife's wallet address where I'm going to send to, or we can actually have this QR code where we can scan with our mobile phone, and then it will bring out the wallet address right there in front of us. And then what happens after that? I'm going to fill the amount I want to send, and I'm also going to be able to see the fraction of the amount I want to send that is going to be charged to the network. And so that fraction that you can see, that fraction that you see when you want to send, is what usually constitutes the reward for those computers that are going to be confirming my transaction. They are going to be able to say, okay, I actually send this Bitcoin at this particular point in time, and so that is the reward they're going to be getting eventually later on. So once I then click on send, and that is all. That is all I need to do if I want to send money to my wife or anybody else, as far as I have the person's wallet address. And you will see that the process of Bitcoin, or the the establishment of Bitcoin, or the way at which Bitcoin has reshaped the financial system, has made it very easy for even banks to be able to adjust their process flow to make sending of money and receiving of money very fast. So on your phone right now, you can just send dial a code like *737 and all that, and then you put in your pin, and then before you know it, once you click on send or OK, the money is gone, and be within a matter of maybe seconds or minutes, another person else will receive the money. So that is what Bitcoin has been able to do. Bitcoin has been able to reshape how banks perform, or reshape bank operations, so to say, for them to, it's just like a wake-up call to improve on how they to improve on their process flow, so to say. Before, it takes quite a long time before you be able to send money or receive money, but because people then prefer the alternative way of sending money and receive money, and banks have to then wake up and reshape their process flows to make it quite easy for people to be able to send and receive money easily right there on their phone. You see it right there. If you just want to send money to someone, you can just press *737. You log on to the app, and then you enter the amount, and you put in your password, and you send. And that's just all. The person received the money in a matter of minutes, and that's how it's supposed to be. So the Bitcoin, the the coming out of Bitcoin has made it made banks to improve in their performance flow. Got their process flow to make sending of money and receiving of money very fast. So on your phone right now, you can just send dial a code like *737 and all that, and then you put in your pin, and then before you know it, once you click on send or OK, the money is gone, and within a matter of maybe seconds or minutes, another person else will receive the money. So that is what Bitcoin has been able to do. Bitcoin has been able to reshape how banks perform, or reshape bank operations, so to say, for them to, it's just like a wake up call to improve on how they to improve on their process flow, so to say. Before, it takes quite a long time before you be able to send money or receive money, but because people then prefer the alternative way of sending money and receive money, and banks have to then wake up and reshape their process flows to make it quite easy for people to be able to send and receive money easily right there on their phone. You see it right there. If you just want to send money to someone, I just press that 737. You log on to the app, and then you enter the amount, and you put in your password, and you send. And that's just all. The person receives the money in a matter of minutes. That's how it's supposed to be. So the Bitcoin, the the coming out of Bitcoin has made it made banks to improve in their performance flow. Yeah, hold on, guys. Just give me a few minutes. Just give me about a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. I'll be back. Right now, I just sent the line info, my started with them and all that. And then, on your system, if we start with this second, that's no, we are not. No, we cannot be able to ship how back, background at the machine part where machine has been able to confirm this transaction actually took place, and then it applied timestamp to be sure that you don't double spend it, and then it include a minor fee for the computer that is going to confirm that this transaction actually existed. And then the process flow then continues in such a way that the computer that is going to confirm this transaction is going to be rewarded with a certain fraction of that amount that you're sending, which is what we call the proof of work. I've explained this before, and so they get compensated with that part. So that's the mining part of Bitcoin, so to say, or cryptocurrency. And then once this is done, both the miner fee and then the transaction that you have initiated are going to be passed across, or spread across all the different computers that are connected, in the entire cryptocurrency space. And then my wife finally receives the Bitcoin that I sent. And most of all these things that we have right here happen just in matter of minutes. Sometimes 7 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, all depend. And that's just what happens at the background. The new block is then added to the existing blockchain in a way that Okay, I got disconnected. I'm very sorry for that. Just like I said before, one doesn't have control over what could happen at any particular point in time. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, so I know if I'm having any challenge from here. Okay, okay, thanks. So you understand how the process flow is when you want to send Bitcoin. I don't feel that should be much of a problem for us. So what we want to talk about next is the future of Bitcoin. Future of Bitcoin. I believe you have a good understanding of the process flow when you want to send Bitcoin. All you just need to do is to get the wallet address of the person you want to send to, and then put the amount, and basically just send. It's a very simple thing. And then at what happened on the background is what I was just trying to explain to you. Uh, it goes through the network of computers, which then one of them then confirmed that the transaction had never occurred before, and that is a new transaction. A new hash is then created and then added to the existing blockchain. And then any of the computer that was able to do the confirmation is rewarded with a fraction of a Bitcoin, which is the mining part of that Bitcoin. And then by clicking send, and once it's verified, it is made available in a public ledger, which is what we call the blockchain. And then the person you want to send it to just gets to receive it straight up. So it's not something that's quite difficult. So right now, what we want to do is to look at the future of cryptocurrency, and then we look at how to then invest. So we are not going to spend more than I think we have about 15 minutes or about 20 minutes more for us to finish today. Then by tomorrow we continue. There's a way forward with cryptocurrency because it is based, or the technology behind it is very strong. It's based on cryptography and blockchain. So we are not supposed to actually be, talking about whether cryptocurrency has come here to stay or not. And the answer to that one is yes. Cryptocurrency has come to stay, and the technology behind it is very strong. The only problem with it, or the issue surrounding it, has to do with money laundering and terrorism funding, and the way at which government can actually, regulate it to some extent. And that is what is being currently being investigated or being carried out by a lot of countries right now. And you will get to even be surprised that lots of countries have started adopting cryptocurrency, the use of cryptocurrency. So I would say that in the near future to come, the cryptocurrency concept and all that is going to really fully reshape the way at which we carry out transactions, if not already doing that. So let's look at some things right there. And now, what I am starting with is just something that is going to be very, very easy for you to understand. When Bitcoin was created, Bitcoin was created, and then other coins like the Monero, the Litecoin, the Ethereum, the Dogecoin Dash, and all those other coins actually emancipated from the Bitcoin, from the creation of Bitcoin. So right now, my understanding of what is going to happen eventually is that Bitcoin is not going to be as popular as how we have it right now. This is what is going to happen. Government is most likely going to be able to work with other cryptocurrency that are currently existing, like the Ethereum. It's based on smart contracts where it can shake hands with third-party software. We can make it easy for governments to then be able to really see which transactions are going from one place to another and who is sending what. Because by the time the best way to approach it is to approach it from the exchangers point of view. That means if government really wants to regulate Bitcoin, all they just need to do is to work with the exchangers and then make sure that the exchangers actually collect they follow due diligence. That means they collect the right information, the right documentation for each user. And then government may actually be able to shake hands with other cryptocurrency, which they are going to then legitimate as the one that they are going to be using. And then you may have it that Bitcoin, which was the first at that time that was created, will then be less popular, and then those other Bitcoins that spring forth from the creation of Bitcoin, which are actually very easy for third-party software to work with, are then going to gain ground, and then going to be made legal or legalized, so to say. As a matter of fact, right now, just like I said before, some companies have started adopting the use of Bitcoin. If you quickly go to your Google, and let's quickly even go there and see right now. So I'm going to just search for countries that have countries that have adopted cryptocurrency. And so you'll see it right here. To date, countries that have issued their own cryptocurrencies include Ecuador, China, Senegal, Singapore, Tunisia. And though these countries will not be standing alone for long, with Estonia, Japan, Palestine, Russia, Sweden looking to launch their own national cryptocurrency very soon. So what is happening right now is that countries have started creating their own cryptocurrency, which is not really the essence of the creation of Bitcoin from the onset. Then once they are able to create their own cryptocurrency, in which case they'll be able to identify the identity, they will be able to have the identity of who is sending what and be able to control and all that, then they can start, the use and legalizing cryptocurrency. Let's quickly go through what we have right here. Bitcoin offers something groundbreaking, and a grand number of national banks, including the Federal Reserve, are interested in using blockchain technology to power a centralized national currency. So just like I said before, in the future to come, Bitcoin may not really be that popular, and it may not be legal, trading, not trading, offering transactions in Bitcoin. Banks, countries are actually coming out with their own cryptocurrency that is backed up by the blockchain technology, and those are the ones that they are going to eventually legalize when the time comes. So most experts agree that in the future, countries will turn to cryptocurrency as money is already moving from the physical to the digital realm, and that's the truth. We are in a cashless economy right now, and you will realize that most of the time, most transactions are actually being carried out digitally online, which can be verified. They are trying to eliminate the use of or the spread of physical cash, where you won't be able to know how it is being spent, to digital way at which money can be traced from the actual creation to the present state where it is residing. So a method that secures digital transaction is a necessary investment, and the blockchain technology used in cryptocurrency is a top contender. So that's just what you should have at the back of your mind. And then from the look of things, it is highly likely that other altcoins could surpass Bitcoin because of their utility and technologies behind them. For instance, Ethereum has its own blockchain, which companies like Microsoft, JP Morgan are experimenting with. And as a matter of fact, another feature of Ethereum, just like I said before, is that it has a smart contract part of its creation in such a way that it can actually it's usually very easy to work with in third-party software, and that is the direction at which most cryptocurrency that are being created right now are being based on or working towards on. So cryptocurrency are yet to say, but it's unlikely they will survive in their current form until we get some real innovation across, and especially if regulation is balanced with them across all platforms. So once governments are able to find their way at which they can work with cryptocurrency or create their own cryptocurrency that is backed up by blockchain technology, then it can actually be quite legal. But that is what is currently being worked on right now, and it's just a matter of time. So the genesis or the short story long of everything I've said right here is that yes, cryptocurrency have come to stay, but what we may have is that we may have Bitcoin to be less popular, and some other altcoins, alternative coins, which we call the altcoins, some other altcoins gaining more ground and gaining more regulatory view than Bitcoin. So now that you understand what Bitcoin is, the technology behind the process flow and all that, let's now look at how we can tap into cryptocurrency and investing into cryptocurrency at large. So we are going to be starting with long-term investment. There are two parts to how we can make money in the crypto market. The first is looking at the way at the long-term investment part of cryptocurrency, where you buy some coins that have prospects and then you leave them to gain to gain value, and then after that you can then sell them for profit. And then the second part is the trading parts of cryptocurrency, where you look at which of this cryptocurrency wants to start going up or want to start coming down, and then you make money whether they are going up. They also make money whether they are going to go down. But in the long-term investment, you only make money when that cryptocurrency is gaining value. However, in the trading part of cryptocurrency, whether price is going up or whether price is coming down, you are going to be making money. And so those are the two areas that we are going to be looking at right now. But we are going to initially start with the long-term part, which is very easy to do. So investment based on long-term involves buying an existing or well-established cryptocurrency like the Bitcoin, the Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Peercoin, Dogecoin, etc. at a very low price and holding it till the price increase significantly. And we are going to see that very soon. So you want to make sure you invest in cryptocurrency with good volume. You want to make sure you invest in cryptocurrency with good volume and have very high security with good future prospect. And it is majorly first 10 or first 20 currencies by volume. Some people invest in top 100 by just focus on first 20. So what we're going to do right now is that we are going to go to coin market. You can filter by volume and be able to see the the market cap of all the cryptocurrencies right there, and then you can spread and share your you can spread your investment across all these currencies, apart from possibly the Bitcoin, because Bitcoin right now has increased significantly. As at the time, we are quickly going to come back to this page, and then another resource that you can use to know which cryptocurrency to invest in is Crypto Compare. We are coming back to this slide very soon. But as at the time I first started this training of cryptocurrency and preparing the website, preparing the presentation plate in 2007, August 2017, the price of Bitcoin was actually just $4,000. And when I got to know about Bitcoin, that should be in 2016 or so, or 2015, the price of Bitcoin was just around $700. And right now, as at the time that we're having this, the price of Bitcoin is over $50,000, and that's crazy. The price of Bitcoin is over $50,000. So you can imagine something that was around $700 in just about 5 or 6. Yeah, very sorry once again. I got locked out. The internet do fluctuate once in a while, but anytime it does that, what I try to do is to just restart the modem. You know, can be quite frustrating sometimes. Um, we are going to finish up very soon. The training is usually for 2 hours each day. We have about 6 hours more, about 6.5 hours or more of training. And so we are just about to finish the one of today. We are just going to look at um, how to focus on the coins to invest in. And we are going to go to coin market cap to see the top, maybe the top 20 cryptocurrencies that we want to invest in. And then if you have around possibly, I will just advise possibly around $1,000. You can buy a fraction of Bitcoin, but you can buy a very good portion of Ethereum and then spread your investment across some other ones right there. So we'll go to coin market cap, and then let's see if we can just quickly get there. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, can you see my screen? You should be able to see coin market cap screen right now. And so on the coin market cap screen is going to, you'll be able to have, you'll have this information, the information regarding the name of the coin, all the cryptocurrencies that you have in the whole world, the price of those coins, then the information in the last 24 hours. The last 24 hours, Bitcoin has dropped about 3.57%. The current price of Bitcoin right now is about $53,000, and then it has dropped about 3.57% in the last 24 hours. However, in the last 7 days, it has only dropped just 1.78%. The market capitalization right now is just about $1 billion. The last time I checked, it was about $1 billion, but because it lost 1.78%, yeah, that's why we're having it about now and it's 8 million. And even at that, it is actually quite outrageous. It's a very big trade volume, if you ask me. Marketalization. The market volume in the past 24 hours, in the past 24 hours, about 898,000 Bitcoin has been traded within the past 24 hours. And then currently in circulation right now is 18.6 million Bitcoin. In total, the maximum available Bitcoin that we are going to be having in circulation is 21 million. So right now we are at 18.6 million. And so that is how you are going to, that's why you'll be able to read the information if you come to the coinmarketcap.com. And then what you want to do is to look at the coins right here. And then I usually advise the first 20 excluding USD. And Bitcoin Cash has been increasing for some while. It's not bad. So what you want to do is to try to get about $1,000, and then with that $1,000, you spread it and buy a fraction of Ethereum. Now, you remember what I told you, that there's going to be a period where Bitcoin is not going to be that popular anymore because the technology behind the creation does not support people getting to know who is sending what. But for some cryptocurrency like Ethereum, they have smart contract that can shake hand with third-party software, which is going to make it easy for government to work with and then be able to know the identity of who is sending what to prevent most of the issues that surround the cryptocurrency space. So you want to just spread your investment across most of all these coins, apart from this wrap Bitcoin. You don't need to bother yourself about it. But Monero is also a very good one. Binance BND is also a very good one. And then IOTA also a very good one. Hold on 1 minute, guys. Hold on 1 minute. Yeah, so I just quickly changed over. They brought my light back, so that's what I just did. So so these are what we are going to be looking at by the time we open by the time we open our account, and then we'll look at how we can spread our investment and buy most of all these coins. So I don't know if you have any question right now. We are going to just end this here today. I don't want us to go more than 7 p.m. and this is just about 7 p.m. So in the next class, we are going to be talking about Binance platform overview. That's where we'll look at the Binance platform and then also open an account with them and then fund our account and use it to buy most of all these coins that we have seen right there. So do we have any question? I believe you guys will have some questions, definitely. So this is time for questions. So I'm very sorry for you that I didn't inform you guys from the onset that it's going to be about the 2 hours training. And even tomorrow, we are going to be spending 2 hours plus, and then on next tomorrow, another 2 hours plus. I just want to really have a good understanding of what the crypto market is, and then be thankful eventually by the time you remember that you attended this course. Okay, so who wants to talk? I can see some people have already sent some questions for the person. Share and with third party, like you said. Can we engage you later on Telegram platform? Yes, you can engage me on the Telegram. I will be there to answer your questions. That's why I created the group, and I also created the discussion group so that if you have questions, you can chat me up at any time. How to trade and to monitor market to trade. We are going to get there on the 3rd day. Remember that the program for this training, is that on the first day, we just want to have a good knowledge about the cryptocurrency market. So that's why I took the time to explain most of all these things to you: the proof of work, the blockchain, the cryptocurrency, cryptography. Most of all these things are what we need to understand. So by the time you hear it somewhere else, you'll be able to at least have a good understanding of what they are. So for this right now, for day one, our focus majorly is just on knowledge. Then tomorrow we are going to look at platform overview, and we will focus on Binance, and we'll open an account with Binance and then get ourselves familiar with most of all the features that are available on the Binance platform. Then on the 3rd day, we now look at how you can do your investment proper, and then how you can trade. And the trading also involves, it includes the money management and risk management parts of cryptocurrency trading. So it's going to be a long ride actually, and we are just starting. Any more questions, guys? Okay, okay, Chuku is raising up his hand. Are you in a quiet place so that I can unmute you? So unmute yourself right now. Okay, Chuku. Oyagba, unmute yourself and talk. Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm not really in a quiet place.
Hello.
I already, yeah, hello.
Hello. Hello, Kechuku. Okay, maybe he's not ready to talk. Let me look at Barry Lou. Okay, don't let me even try to. Try to unmute yourself, please. Barry Lou Bene.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a nice training indeed.
Yeah, I can hear you, Barry.
Yes, I just want to say a very big thank you and to say happy birthday. Because the first time I was having a training like this, you did a good job.
I don't know, your audio is not that so clear.
Okay, I just want to say a big thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's my pleasure.
I want to say happy birthday on behalf of the class too.
You want to what?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. I so appreciate it. Thank you very much. Just my own little way of doing my birthday this time around. You know, most of the time before, I do celebrate it. In fact, it's like this is the only first year I decided not to even do any celebration. I just feel to just do something quite different. So you guys are welcome, and I'm glad that at least I'm able to pass some of the knowledge to people for free.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we don't have questions right now. If you have more questions, you can chat me up on the Telegram group, and then we'll meet tomorrow. What time is convenient, more convenient for you guys? Is it 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.?
5 p.m. is okay, sir.
Okay, what I'm going to do is that in the group, in the Telegram group, I'm going to send a poll so that you guys can send your votes. So I'll try to work with which one is very good, if it's 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. because I understand that some people really want to be part, but you know they go to work, yes, and then from that 5 they close by 5, and then before they get home we've already started and they are not really able to be part of it. So I would like to carry as many as possible along. But I'm going to send the poll. Then you guys can send your votes right there.
Good.
All right, now
that would be fantastic, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so it's already 7. Let's
Yes,
end the class right now, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, take care, guys. Bye.
Hi, you too. Bye, sir.